The name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're listening to The Gaming Outsider. I guess you've got balls of steel.
Welcome to the Gaming Outsider Podcast. This week, Zack is back, and he joins the crew as they discuss urban legends in video games. In news, a couple new games were added to Nintendo Switch Online, and for the first time ever, one is being removed. We have a ton of new games to talk about, including Split Fiction, Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered, Potion Shop Simulator, and just way too many to name right here. You're just going to have to listen to find out more. This is the Gaming Outsider.
Greetings, programs. Welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. We also have a community at facebook.com/group/thegocast and even a Discord server, which you can find as a link in the show notes. It's Tuesday, March 11th. I am your host, Zack Parkerson. And joining me are my friends, Kevin Honigford, illustrious producer.
Illustrious. I like how you always put these big words in front of my name.
I try to be polysyllabic as much as I can. And our, writer extraordinaire, Jacob Gunderson, or Jake.
Whiner.
I see.
Didn't change it from last week.
There. Is that what you? Is that
no? Somebody changed my name last week, and I haven't changed it yet. But no, I appreciate it. You did a great Scott impersonation.
Oh no, I don't like the sound of that. Speaking of which, obviously Scott Clark is not here this week. Which is he heard I was coming back, and then he ran for the hills, as you do.
As
you guys were here. How's your guys?
Under the weather.
Yeah, well, screw him. Jake, how was your week?
My week is fine. My wife is home so far, and it's been busy. It's been loud. She talks a lot.
The hell is so far, man?
We have a whole nother week that I have to survive with my wife. She wants to go to Milwaukee tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun.
Why would you want to do that?
She wants to go to the zoo and to the aquarium.
Oh, okay.
Wow, Milwaukee still got a zoo, huh?
Maybe. Not after I'm done with it.
I don't know the hell that means. So, how about you, Kevin? How are you today?
Big game hunting.
Jeez. They kill an elephant.
I'm doing great. Work's been busy. Been trying to get some games in around another game I've been playing. Yeah, been fun. You?
Good. Oh man. You know what? I guess this past weekend was pretty good. I rode a horse for the first time, so that was pretty exciting.
A horse?
Yes, it was my delayed birthday present from my wife, was to go horse riding.
For the first time?
You could just go places and go horseback riding?
You have like a cowboy like nostalgia aspect to your life, but you've never ridden a horse before?
Dude, I mean, I'm sure you can report on the quality horses that roam around Rockford, Illinois, but the opportunities weren't high.
I mean, you travel 5 minutes in any direction.
I think you had one too many S's in that word. If you're talking about Rockford.
No.
They're not horses.
Hey. Hey now.
That took me a sec. That's good. Go on. Keep it PG. But anyway, that was fun. Yeah, and here in Oregon, they're everywhere, I guess. Horse farms.
Okay.
So. Everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it, man. I don't know. Either way, that was fun. Whatever. Got to do that again.
Good.
But let's get into some video games, huh? Jake, what have you been playing? I assume Monster Hunter.
I'm still continuing going through Monster Hunter Wilds, although it's taken a backseat to some of the other games that I'm reviewing now, but still having a lot of fun playing it. Still testing out some new things. I'm trying to break it, but it hasn't been broken yet. I feel weird that it's still, I wouldn't say repeating itself, but it's still teaching me new things, even though I am so far into the game. Like I am several hours into the game, have beaten it, rolled credits, and then it's still like, hey, here's a new aspect of the game.
Wow, that is I don't know.
It just feels weird to me. But other than that, I've been playing the Division 2 with my wife. Again, she wanted to start over, so we've just been trying to level up and finish that and get to a spot where we can actually start playing the game the way that we used to play the game. She keeps complaining about not having certain weapons that she used to have on the other account, and since cross progression doesn't happen or can happen between the PlayStations and the computers for that game, We don't have any of that stuff, so she has to go out in the world and find it. And she doesn't like that.
Are you a Tom Clancy fan in general, or at least of the games?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been playing Rainbow Six and stuff for a long time. I played the first Vegas 2. I tried Siege for a little bit, but Siege felt off. It felt more like a Call of Duty than a Tom Clancy. But
I feel like it started when it like first came out. It kind of felt Clancy-esque, but then those degenerates online got a hold of it, and now it's just
I do remember when it first came out. It was very much more of the sneaky.
Yeah, it was very
it was very sneaky oriented. Yeah. Now it's blow a hole in the wall.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin? What have you been playing?
Well, I don't want to steal Scott's thunder on this, but he's not here, so screw him. But we finished Gate. Yep, we finished Baldur's Gate 3. It took a bit to get there, obviously, but it was fun. It was cool seeing other parts of the story that he spoke on before, how I didn't see what he did on my playthrough. So it was cool seeing things go this way, and it was a little bittersweet though, because it's like you always get that feeling of accomplishment when you finish a game, no matter how many times you've beaten it. But this was like you get that sense of accomplishment, but at the same time, like my Sunday mornings were so like that was like one of the highlights of my week, and now it's like now what do I do?
Yep.
Like so yeah.
Is the plan to just roll it up again?
I'd be down for that, but I don't know. That's whatever Scott wants to do, and Paul. I don't know what we're gonna do. No idea. I don't know what kind of interest they all have in. What's that?
Find a new game.
Oh, I'm telling you what, though, I could seriously play Baldur's Gate 3. Like you guys do those Desert Island games. I like that. I wouldn't need 5. I would just need Baldur's Gate 3.
Just the one.
I was gonna say every time you play it, it feels like a new game anyway, right? So endless entertainment.
Yep.
Well, I guess.
So,
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, what about you?
Yeah. Well, with moving in, hasn't been as much time as I would have liked. I was so exhausted because moving in. I've told you guys the elevator in our building went out when we were moving out. It was just me and my wife, so it was a real process getting everything off the 4th floor, and then throughout the week the elevator never got fixed. So it was a real problem. But so I was really tired. Didn't play a lot of games. I did play some Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm in the second region. I think I mentioned last time I was on. Still there investigating. So much of it is just in this one city in the map because there's just so much going on there. And I don't know, man. There's just so many side quests. I've joined a thieves guild. I'm currently investigating a serial killer, and Henry has a shockingly firm grasp on forensics for 1403. And that's talk about blood stain patterns and whatnot. No. But it's been a lot of fun. And then me and my wife, because I didn't know this about her, is a big Civ player, and I've never played any Civ, so we decided to start playing Civilization 6, and I am in the midst of my first game, playing as America, of course,
as one does.
America.
Going for a faith and military campaign, the American way.
I mean, that's how you do it.
I mean, other countries need freedom.
That's right, by whatever means necessary. But that game's a lot of fun. It works better on PlayStation than I would have thought. Yeah, just looking at Civ.
I've only ever played those on PC, so I have been curious how they play on console, but I've never really gotten into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can only speak to Civilization 6.
That thing, yeah.
But but it's surprisingly seamless. It's fun going through the ages. I know this franchise has been around for 30 years, but it's new to me. But it's fun, you start with little like guys slinging rocks, and then they become archers, and then they're riflemen. It's just fun to see the progression.
Yep.
I think it's really funny when you have like tanks and you're going against people on horseback.
Yeah. I didn't really consider that before I started playing, that the one civilization can be ahead technologically than the other by entire eras.
Yep, by
Yeah.
light years almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. I just
That's
wiped
so
out
funny.
Toronto just because they were so easy to wipe out, which is
They're
perhaps
small.
perhaps prescient. And then, but
Over here committing genocide.
yeah, well, they were on the edge of the peninsula, and I wanted those resources. So I guess I can see
Perfect.
how history happened now.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah. Then lastly, I needed something to just brain off kind of game, so I picked up Space Marine 2, and
Oh,
that
did you?
is indeed a brain off kind of game.
Yeah,
Have you played this, Kevin?
I have not actually.
Good.
I have it in my library. I just haven't had time to sit down and hit start.
Okay, Jake, I saw you nodding.
Yep.
You played this?
I played it all the way through. I didn't play much of the multiplayer at the end of the game, but
Mhm.
man, the main campaign is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a ideal dumb fun experience, right? Like
Yeah.
the story did not. At least I don't know anything about Warhammer, so maybe there was something going on, but it felt like I didn't have a clue what was happening. Just
Right.
all of a sudden, like winged demons are showing up, and they're talking about the warp a lot, and all three of my dudes sounded the exact same, so I had to turn on subtitles. I'll just
That's what
yeah.
you do was talking.
Some Marine bros. It was
Yep.
but it was exactly what I needed. I haven't beaten it yet. I know it's pretty short, but there is a great deal of fun chainswording Tyranids in half. That's
Awesome.
free. That does not get
Yep.
old.
No.
So I don't know. Maybe we have to link up for some co-op sometime. Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds good.
But yeah,
What are you doing on Sunday mornings?
That's a good question. Well, we'll blast through Space Marine in like a day without much you guys play
Right.
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, but anyway, that's what I've been playing. I guess you guys want to get into the news.
Sure.
I mean, are you going to allow us into the news? You have to.
Oh, I give you permission.
Um,
Yes, let's get into the news. You're right. I'm not. Yeah, you know what? I'm so used to somebody guiding me. I'm not used to being the guider,
Right.
as it were. Now the vaguely sexual transitions are over. We can talk about some news. I did want to briefly mention the RoboCop Unfinished game. The standalone expansion's coming out, as well as Death Stranding 2 got a release date on June 26th. But in bigger news, Nintendo Switch Online is adding some games as well as pulling one. Lego is bringing their game development internal, and Square Enix just teased a bunch of Chrono projects in relation to the game's 30th anniversary. Jake, where would you like to start?
I love Lego, so we're going to go with Lego. I'm not as big as a Lego nerd as CB, but I grew up on Legos. I build Legos. I still have a bunch of Legos built at my mom's house that she's like immortalized on the wall. But they don't have any news on new projects they're making, but they definitely want to bring their stuff internal to start making their own games and start building those relationships with other video game IPs to start making actual physical products of those games to have more of a what they call the hybrid experience. So you play the game and then you can play with the sets, or you can build the sets to have them physically.
I mean, that, it didn't work with Lego Dimension, but
yeah, I was going to say, didn't they try this already?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, wasn't that their own IP, like their own thing? I don't remember.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know that much about it. I just remember it existing, and
yeah.
My
kid had the warp gate that I had to build over and over again because he'd be like, "Oh, I want to move it over here," and then he'd throw it across the room.
That's a weird way to go about that, but that's cool.
I mean, he was 9.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, it sounds cool. I hope it works out. I just, like I said, I remember that they had done something along those lines with Lego Dimensions, and that didn't work out so hot. So
I don't think it's going to be like a Lego. I don't think it's going to be like a Lego Dimensions exactly. I think it's just going to be like here's a set to play with, and then here's a game to play with.
Okay.
Right, or maybe you can punch in your set code and get something.
I was going to say it's going to have
Lego
like a QR
Fortnite
code or something on it. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. That, or I know like the Lego in the Sonic Superstars, Lego Sonic is a character you can unlock.
Oh yeah, that's right.
One of the skins you can unlock. They have the Lego characters. Well, it's Lego everybody. It's Lego Amy and even Robotnik. But yeah. So maybe that's I don't know. So they are out there.
Cool.
I would play a Sonic game.
Yeah. Lego's going to continue building their relationships that they've already got. They've already got, like you said, Legos and Marios and that kind of stuff. And the new one that's coming out is based on Mario Kart. So I don't know. Maybe that's going to roll. Maybe it's going to have tracks. I didn't see anything on it, but sounds cool.
Okay.
Well, they make Lego car builds, right? Lego Technics is what it's called.
Oh yeah, dude, my boys are like they're grown ass boys and grown butt boys. And,
grown butt boys.
And they're into those Lego car sets like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, well,
it's a thing.
Now they can do it with a banana peel.
I mean, that would be cool having a Lego red shell.
Those the Mario Kart. Okay,
there you go.
I was like, why would they have a banana?
You're getting there,
right?
Surely you played a Mario Kart. I think this. I wonder what this means. What does this mean for Traveler's Tales? Because they're owned by Warner Brothers, right? And they, their whole life is just making Lego games.
I mean,
that is true.
They'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I mean, well,
I don't know.
Warner Brothers is so constantly in trouble. Maybe they'll just sell them to Lego. That'd be kind of smart, I guess. If Lego could buy Traveler's Tales, I think that'd probably be pretty smart.
And save Warner Brothers, and then we can have the Wonder Woman.
I don't know if they're saving Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Warner Brothers seems dead set on a collision course with nobody. Nothing's in their way but themselves.
Right.
Yep.
They're dead set on dying. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Truly bewildering.
I mean,
so I mean, it's good.
They've got games coming out. But anyway,
yeah.
Kevin, what do you think about the news?
Well, I think it's kind of. I think it's cool that they added two more games to the Switch Online. I wish we heard news like that more often. I am not overly excited about them pulling a game, but I'm not
Super Soccer.
Super Soccer, but I do understand it. I mean, it has to happen, right? I mean, they can't just keep adding games and just keep them. I mean, they're gonna. It's a server. They have to. It doesn't just have infinite memory,
true.
Right? So I mean, something like that's bound to happen. But I am excited about having Donkey Kong and not so much Mario Picross. Picross is cool, nothing against it, but having Donkey Kong available to play on a mod to modern fans, I guess. It's not the word I was looking for, but it'll work. That's cool. It's nice that you can do stuff like that without having to get the old consoles out if they work or find one online and you can I can go play Donkey Kong with my kids now. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
They can learn the fascinating origins of Jumpman.
Yep.
And Pauline, the town mayor from Super Mario Odyssey.
Sure. Oh my.
You guys don't. All right. No Mario fans in the house, I guess.
No. The last Mario game I played with ended with the 64. Scratch that. I lied. It ended with Sunshine.
There you go. I mean, you haven't played a Mario game in 20 years?
Oh, has it been that long? Don't remind me.
Oh my god.
Maybe I should go play Galaxy.
They've made some good ones.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, anyway, this is great news, but I got to ask you guys, have you watched the Death Stranding 2 trailer? The 10-minute trailer?
I have not watched the whole thing. I watched the very beginning of it, went, okay, this looks cool. On the next one.
You asked that like there was some heavy intent, though.
Right.
Yes, because I played the entire first game, and I don't have a damn clue what's going on in the sequel.
Oh.
I saw 10 minutes of footage. I got no clue, which is I'm on board for, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm all in. Freaking Solid Snake showed up.
Story?
It seems like it's a direct sequel. They're taking care of the baby from the first game, and Leia Sadu is there, and like I was trying to say, that Solid Snake is showing up for some reason. Well, some guy named Neil is here with a bandana and the exact appearance of Solid Snake.
Yeah. I mean, I saw some clips here and there, and that was one of them that I saw, yes. Yeah.
And then just straight up Metal Gear Rex is a Tara monster. I don't know. I don't really understand what's going on. But again, I can't wait.
Yeah, I didn't play the first one, so I don't have that tie to it. But I mean, the bits that I saw looked interesting? Question mark.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, it just looks like you're doing a lot less walking this time. There's a lot of shooting in that trailer.
Unfortunately, I didn't play the first game either, but I really, really wanted to. But there was just other things that I was doing at the time, and so maybe this is a perfect opportunity for me to go back and play through the first one. Then I'm geared up for the second one.
I think so, man.
And then I will also have no clue what's going on.
Right, you can join the legions of Death Stranding fans that don't have a clue what's happening. All right, I guess before we move on, we should probably talk about this Chrono Trigger tease. I assume everybody here.
I thought Kevin would want to talk about this one the most.
Believe it or not,
never mind. I was wrong. Oh no,
I have not played Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I like it's cool, but my only access to Chrono Trigger the Chrono Trigger was on Steam, which I got scared of, like scared away from right away because of and so I didn't even pick it up there, and I just never played it.
Wow, that is interesting to me.
I can play Chrono Trigger on Steam.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Chrono Trigger on Steam.
I need to go find. I need to go look. Out of all the games that I've ever looked up on Steam, I don't think Chrono Trigger was ever one of them.
I mean, dude, it's a wretched version of it. Are you a big Chrono Trigger guy?
No, not huge. I've played the original one many years ago, but I mean, it was still a good game. So, or at least what I remember of it, nostalgia, mindset.
I mean, it has been called the best RPG of all time.
Yes.
Sure. Yes, it's usually that or FF6, right? Or neck and neck, typically.
Yep.
Particularly of that era. I like Chrono Trigger. I think I've told the story on the podcast many times, but I thought it was a very good game. But I played it on the PlayStation version, which has excruciating load times. It's like 30 plus seconds every time you open the menu.
Yep.
So it was a brutal way to try to play an RPG where you're in your menus pretty often. But I liked it. Despite that, I probably would have liked it a lot more if I didn't want to, bash my head in with a frogman sword to get through it. But
I mean, at some point, I have to get my hands on a Super Nintendo and play the game. I like I said, I was like most people know, I was a Genesis kid, and it just wasn't accessible to me. And by the time I got access, it was like, bleh.
I'm sure CD has one.
Sure.
Well, hopefully you won't have to do that because they're they said they have some announcements coming this very year. Some of these products will release, and maybe one of those could be a remaster or something.
That would be cool. Right? We'll see. I mean, Chrono Trigger on Steam was a thing, so that was also a project at one point in time. So I'm not trying to be a downer, but yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully they were just stealth making an HD 2D Chrono Trigger this whole time. We could just get one of those. That would be sick. Beautiful.
That would be awesome.
I would play that. I would play the hell out of that.
Yes. Yeah. Give me Chrono Trigger in a Octopath-esque.
Yeah.
Visual. That would be sick.
Excellent. All right. Well, I guess we'll keep our eyes posted for that. Before we move on, just reminding we are an independently funded podcast, which means we must pay for our podcast hosting services and website all on our own, which is why we have a Patreon page where fans can contribute monthly to help offset the cost of production as well as give back to the community. If you'd like to help out, you can do so at patreon.com/thegocast. Patrons at the $3 a month level or higher get bonus episodes, as well as the entire back catalog. I feel like dozens of episodes on the site. We should have new episodes shortly, presumably.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
But, maybe is a big word.
But
we redo all of our stuff.
But while we wait, there's an endless repertoire of back episodes that you can find at patreon.com/thegocast. So without further ado, let's get into what we've actually been playing this week.
All right, my favorite part of the show. Zack gets to read us off like a disclaimer on a commercial. Let's go. Let's do it.
I was gonna say he was all ready for this, and then you cut him off.
I don't know, man. I feel like he really actually doesn't like this part, is what I'm learning. A wrestling game WWE 2K25 comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC March 14th. Pathologic 3 Quarantine. This is the next entry in the video game franchise that hates you for playing it. That comes to PC March 17th. 33 Immortals, early access co-op action games featuring 33 players in a lobby, which is kind of interesting. That comes to Xbox and PC early access on March 18th. MLB The Show 25 comes to Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 5 and PC March 18th. Rainbreaker makes its way to PC March 18th. Ubisoft's Hail Mary Assassin's Creed Shadow comes out on Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 5 and PC March 20th. Xenoblade Chronicles X gets a remastered Switch port, saving it from the graveyard that is the Wii U on March 20th. Cataclysmo releases into 1.0 on March 20th, and then Rendering Rager Art of the Second Power Rewind comes to PlayStation, Switch, and PC March 20th. Kevin, since you're such a big fan of this segment, what's the game?
I think that's R squared.
R squared. You're right. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm not a math guy. All right. That's what we have you for.
Good thing Scott's not here.
Right.
I'm
because he would
going
give me a
for
red marker.
Right.
I didn't play the original Assassin's Creed games. The first Assassin's Creed game I played was Origins. I'm going for Shadows because I have really, really enjoyed like Valhalla was a blast for me. And Mirage was weird for me because I guess the one thing that threw me off about that and its predecessor was like you had to have certain endings to understand the story of Mirage completely, because to me the guy that plays the main character in Mirage was the bad guy, and
right,
not spoiler alert, but and I didn't really understand that dynamic, so but it was still fun. So I'm really looking forward to Shadows. I love the samurai, what's the word? Aesthetic. Yeah, I'm that's what I'm going to be checking out.
I don't know. Jake, what about you?
I am in the same boat. I have been playing Assassin's Creed since the get-go, and this is just another thing for me to do.
I mean, I will probably be checking out Pathologic or MLB or Rainbreaker or
any game on the list.
He's just I have seen Kevin's Steam. He gets like however many games, plays them all for like 30-40 minutes and then leaves them and never touches them again. So I give it. But no, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, so I will probably be getting this one and trying it.
Well, I guess we're going to go 3 for 3 because I had to pick one game on this list. It would also be Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm not going to pick it up because I would still need to get through Valhalla before I feel like I could play Shadows. Because I know Valhalla does a lot to move the overall lore forward, and but nonetheless, Shadows looks fun. I think it's interesting to have a canon mode where they make you play the characters at certain times, and pick the dialogue. I think that's interesting.
That's a new take.
Yeah.
You're not just playing from the perspective of one.
Yeah, because otherwise I feel like I would just play as the lady ninja the whole time because I'd rather just be slitting throats in the dark.
Right.
Like an assassin might do.
Right. Who has a creed?
Presumably.
Presumably.
Maybe with 3 tenets. Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent.
Having 2 characters seems weird to me because if you know the lore of the Assassin's Creed and they go back and like the DNA memory or whatever, like are you like jumping like from character to character in the future too, going backwards?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Right.
Unless
So
unless I guess Yosuke and now unless they had a kid together, right? Because then you could access both of their DNA
That would be-
strands, right?
okay, that would be like you're playing as a great grandparents. Like
Or yeah, grandchildren, but yeah. That'd be yeah. That's the only way, right? I hadn't thought about the lore. I was so distracted by the fact that you're playing as a historical figure for the first time that I hadn't stopped to notice that it is weird that you can play as two seemingly unrelated characters like this.
Yeah. So
what's going on?
I'm excited to
see what they do. Yeah, me too.
Man, I can't wait to watch all the modern day cutscenes on YouTube. Let's find out what's going on here. No, dude, I've been feeling kind of nostalgic for Assassin's Creed the past few weeks, so I don't know. I think I might actually try out Valhalla one of these days for all 300 hours that it lasts. Apparently,
So it's long, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was on sale, and I got like everything with it, and then I just never went back and played it. But I played Origins and Odyssey and a bunch of other ones, but Valhalla I have not finished yet, or even started. So maybe I should run through that one really quick too.
Odyssey, that was the origin of the infamous aggressively average.
Yep.
Yes,
tag.
and I love Odyssey.
I was going to bring it up, but you beat me to it.
Well, he's the one that said it, so
yes, I know.
I mean, it was
Zack steals Top Thunders, Kevin steals Zack's Thunder. Like, whose thunder am I stealing?
I don't know, man. Do you have any thunder?
I don't have an answer to that.
No, I have no thunder stolen.
All right, let's just move on.
This is a pretty sad moment.
Kevin, I was looking forward to discussing this maybe with the both of you, but Scott is a loser, so we'll just have you to talk about Split Fiction. You've been playing it on Xbox. This is the new game from Hazelight, which is obviously was it Yosef Fares' studio. Everybody loves that guy. He's delightful. So, Kevin, what did they top It Takes Two? Did you play It Takes Two? I guess
I played some. So It Takes Two is a game that I started playing with my wife, who has never touched a video game before in her life. I take that back. We played Portal for a little bit, but she is not a video game person. So to play a game like It Takes Two with someone that's never played a game before, you have to have a lot of patience. It takes some time. So we haven't gotten that far into it. But
due to your lack of patience?
No, due to my never-ending patience.
Push the button.
Turn the freaking camera.
But from what I have played of It Takes Two, it's a fantastic game. This blows it out of the water.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Like Scott and I are going to butt heads. We're going to box because he did not want to give this game a 10 out of 10 on his review. This game should be a 10 out of 10.
Wow. What did he end up giving it?
9.5.
All right, it's pretty close.
What wasn't perfect?
According to him, the main bad guy, and his not motive, but
intentions.
Not even really intentions. Just like the way, like Scott's big thing was like, well, what was he going to do? Like, what was he expecting to happen, or what was what was his out? So, but I can't speak for Scott. All I know is he's wrong. So.
Okay. You can speak for that.
Scott is getting so much hate on this episode because he's not here.
That's right. So in your eyes, Kevin, this is a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
So now, okay, I can understand. So that it's high praise. What is it doing that is pushing it to such heights?
It Takes Two is still like friendly to people that don't play video games. Split Fiction is It Takes Two. This is going to sound mean when I say this, but It Takes Two for grown-ups. It is like it is challenging, but challenging in such a fun way that I've never played a game like this before, where I'm on a headset with someone because he's playing at his house, I'm at mine, and you lose. Like, you forget you're on a headset with someone, so you just you're reacting to the game. And next thing you know, you hear someone else coming through saying, "Oh, I know, right?" And you're like, oh yeah, there's someone else there, because it's just the way that this game does things is so like, so many times we were asking each other, like, who thinks of this? Like this is what kind of special person does it take to come up with this idea for this puzzle or this mechanic? It's like it doesn't stop. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And there's so much comedy tied into it too. Like there's one stage, I'll call it a stage, one stage that I'm sure Scott will tell you about at some point, but we couldn't stop. We had to like stop the game because we couldn't stop laughing.
Really?
Because like the way his character had to get around we were pigs, and his character would his character would fart rainbows.
Wow.
And
As
that would propel him to get to areas that I could not get to. And
what were you at the time? Were you just a regular?
I was
old
like
gal?
this. I was I was this like springy coil pig with like a spring mechanic.
Oh, okay.
It was very weird, and like we're walking around and there's like poop falling from the sky, like
Okay.
literal poop falling from the sky, and your characters comment on it. It's like the comedy is so tongue in cheek and good. It's just like I said, we had to pause the game and take a breather because we couldn't stop laughing.
So it sounds like, because the premise, right, is they get trapped in, like, there's a machine that can read your imagination.
Yes.
And
So
they get trapped together, right?
Yes. So the story is you are both authors and you're trying to get published. You go to this place that because you're going to get published. When you walk in, the guy's like, oh, well, we're not going to do it the regular way. Check this out. And they get outfitted in these special outfits and have to step into these little globes, and supposedly this globe kind of brings their writings to life. So they are living through their writings. Since they get pulled in, like stuff happens, they end up being sucked into one globe together. They are living through each other's writings. So as they go through this, one person is explaining what this story meant for them and what their inspiration was and what it means, and the other person is, working through it with them, because you kind of find out that all of these writings are attached to some kind of drama, and so they're kind of like working through the drama as they go. And I thought that, like, yes, the writing was very tongue in cheek, but I thought it was really good because it was so tongue in cheek. It wasn't so serious. It was just kind of lighthearted for a heavy topic sometimes.
Yeah, it takes two to that pretty deftly as well, since it was, at its core, it was about a couple going through a divorce or deciding, to divorce, but like you say, it had a total tongue in cheek kind of atmosphere to it the whole time, and they knew when to strike it light, or bring it a little heavy. It sounds like that this keeps that balance going.
Yes, it does.
So that's great.
Yeah. I mean, and there were times where I was we'd go from just having a blast doing the level, and then all of a sudden we get to a cutscene, and I'm sitting back in my seat going, "Oh man," like some stuff's happening.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, so my favorite trick It Takes Two does is, like, every 30 minutes you're doing something entirely new. Does Split Fiction keep that idea going?
Yep. It's never the same thing. It's so many different mechanics. It's not even funny. There is one segment that lasted quite a bit longer that, if it would have went longer than it did, I probably would have started to get like kind of bored of it, but I think it cut off just in time, because it was quite a bit longer than the other ones. But yeah, it's in one section. I mean, you go from like a third person parkour, jumping from, like, on moving vehicles as they're they're flying vehicles, and you're kind of like jumping between them and using a grappler to pull them to you, or one of you is using a grappler to pull stuff open, the other one is doing something completely different to let the other person go, and it's just working together. Then the next stage, you're in a shmup, and or sorry, a shmucross, and you have to work together because you both have different attack abilities, and then there's I could go on and on and on. There's so many different mechanics they throw at you. It's insane. You never get tired of playing. And the other thing I thought was really cool, and this is a writing thing, is there's so many throwbacks to other games. It's not even funny. There's a Dark Souls throwback, like straight up Dark Souls, Elden Ring. It does Dark Souls and Elden Ring kind of at the same time, because they show up to the campfire, with the sword and the fire. They sit down,
Sure.
and then the screen, and it does it says, I don't remember what it said, but it was the Elden Ring text.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, so it's kind of celebrating games as well.
Yes, there's Sonic references, there's Mario references, there's Metroid references, there's there's Portal references. It's so many, and Scott and I would be like, there's that one, So that
Sure.
was fun to go through and do.
Can I
Wow.
play this
So,
by myself?
Unfortunately, no.
Good job.
You have to have
This is my
friends.
wife.
So
yeah, you got to learn to have to talk
So-
to somebody.
yeah, so Jacob will not be playing Split Fiction. Unfortunately,
I'll just use 2 controllers.
that would be
I mean,
interesting.
All you got to do is not play the Division 2 for a few nights.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite level though was one where, just getting back to the mechanics, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but my favorite level was where Scott and I were both different ends of a centipede, and both ends had these claws that would have to grab onto something. So no, the centipede
Okay.
didn't have a butt, but
So it's not like everybody's favorite movie, The Human Centipede.
exactly, yes,
Right.
it is not like that. But
A centipede of the human variety.
but you have to, there are like wheels and cogs and like different platforms that are moving that you have to grab onto and swing. And one person has to let go and time it right so the other person could grab on, which was cool in itself. Took us some time to get used to. Then they add to it where you have to get a swing going, and one person has to let go, and you're flying, and the whole time you're flying, the centipede is rotating, and you have to time that right so that the other person can grab onto another post on a wheel that's moving. And then there's like fire stuff to dodge, and like it gets crazy zany, and it was challenging, but it was just so much fun. I don't remember the last time I had this much fun in like an action game.
Okay.
And you were
yeah,
playing
I
with
mean,
Scott too, so that's
and I was
the
playing
game
with
was-
Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
the game
So
was
you were
really
coming-
great.
So my
Okay,
handicap
handicap.
is, what is it? Is
Yeah.
that like a -9 or something?
Dude, right. Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. So yeah, with obviously 10 out of 10, you recommend the hell out of this game.
Yes, I do. If you can find a partner to play with, like I said, Scott and I are going to box because it should be a 10.
Well, I can't wait to see that match.
Zach, moving on to you. You have been playing Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered.
That's right.
What platform are you playing on?
PlayStation 5, of course.
Perfect.
I mean, Laura's a PlayStation girl in my eyes.
Right.
So that's
So-
where she belongs.
These ones aren't square anymore.
No.
They were never square; they were triangle.
Yeah, the
Oh.
triangles have been rounded down, if that's what you're insinuating. If you want to play with that, because of course you can switch between the PS1 and the PS5 graphics with just a press of the button.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it when they do that.
Dude, it's so
man.
cool.
Hurt my
Yeah.
eyes.
Now I don't know, Jake, how much familiarity you have with this era of Tomb Raider. Do you have any?
No. Nope.
Okay. So Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 it's Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, which is as far as I'm concerned, one of the pinnacles of the franchise. It's a really great game. It's unusual for Tomb Raider because it mostly takes place in one location, Egypt. But because of that, you can really get into, the kind of that Egypt vibe, and these old Tomb Raiders always had this undercurrent of horror to a lot of the locales, because they're always in dark tombs. You can't really see what's around the next corner. And Last Revelation, I always thought, did a very good job of kind of having a spooky feeling. That game's great. And then Tomb Raider 5 is Chronicles, which is sort of a episodic game. Like it's just like 4 different stories in Lara's life. And it's because they were basically killing time while they waited for Tomb Raider 6, which is Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, which was the PS2 big, kind of supposed to be kind of a reinvention of the franchise a little bit, less tombs, more city. It was supposed to have all these like RPG mechanics that did not really make it to the final game. And it did so badly that they took the franchise away from core design and gave it to Crystal Dynamics. So it does not have a good reputation, though I am here to tell you that the Angel of Darkness freaking rocks.
Oh,
and
wow.
everybody's out of their mind. Although it is decidedly unfinished. There's no doubt. They've done. Yeah, there's no getting around. It is not a complete game. This remaster does an astonishing amount of work kind of rebuilding Angel of Darkness. Like that's definitely the game that's gotten the most TLC in this package. Because there's a second playable character, Curtis, in the game, and you can do a lot more with him now. They kind of restored some of his features that he was supposed to have. But the game still has a problem where like, a cutscene will show Lara walking into the front gate of a castle or something, but then the level starts and she's in the sewers with a different outfit on, and you're like, oh, they cut a level there,
right?
So there's definitely moments like that. But if you know that going in, Angel of Darkness is an absolute blast. It's because it's just like deals a lot with the occult, and I don't know. It's a good story, and Paris is kind of a tomb anyway, so I understand what they were going for.
I mean, the catacombs,
right?
Sure,
to go there.
I mean, if the game is unfinished before, why would they remaster it? Like,
well, I
mean, that's a good question. Like, why would they remaster it and not just finish it?
Right.
Well, that would obviously be a whole different. That's not really what Aspire is doing with these.
The new one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I feel like finishing it would require more of a remake, and I love Angel of Darkness, but I don't think anybody's clamoring for a Angel of Darkness remake. I appreciate them. I do appreciate them doing this because Last Revelation is pretty beloved, but Chronicles and Angel of Darkness much less so. But I appreciate that they respected them enough to kind of round off this era of Tomb Raider.
Well, I mean, they already did the first 3, right?
Right, of course, yeah.
So you have to do the next 3. It's there.
I would think so. Yeah,
right.
I mean, you could have done Last Revelation as like a standalone or DLC maybe for the original package. I'm just, as a Tomb Raider fan, I am happy that all of the core design games are in one place and playable. And because these packages come with remastered, like, or more modernized control scheme if you want it. And I have trouble doing that for the PS1 games because they're so much clearly built on a grid system, and also I've just played so much of those games that the controls are burned into my head. But to my surprise, Angel of Darkness actually felt pretty good with the modern controls. So shout out to Aspire. I think he actually made Angel of Darkness feel better.
Nice.
Because I would not argue that it felt great before, but you would get through it. is right. How you would do it. But otherwise, I mean, it's kind of tough to talk about when it's the second package because I feel like I went over so much the first time. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, they touch these games up. They look great. I love that you can change between the graphics, on the touch of a button. I think Aspire is doing some of the best remaster work out there because of that. Because they all they do is update the graphics on top of the original framework, so the games are as they were. They just might have improved controls or improved graphics, but they have enough care for the fans that you get to press that one button and change the old graphics, or you can use the old controls, like, because not only is it a remaster, but it's also just like a nice port of the old games, so you kind of get it both ways, and it's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, when games do that whole one button to switch the old graphics, it tells, like, to me, that's like hey, we care for the art, and so here, check this out.
Right. And it's so fun to do during cutscenes, especially because you're just like, oh, look at Laura, she's looking great, and then you just press that button, you're like, oh my god, she's horrifying. Can't believe back in the day I was like, oh gosh, I'm in love with this PS1 woman. Oh my god, women, real women will never look this good.
Yeah, right.
So that's also on Xbox, Switch, and PC, and you picked it up for, I mean, was I given to you, or it's $30?
Sandbox Strategy sent us over the code. It is $30. It is $30. You're getting this from the angle of a massive Tomb Raider fan, but I highly recommend this package. If you care about video game history, it's a great way to look at some. If you want to see just how out of my mind I am, you could play Angel of Darkness and say, "What the hell is this guy talking about? This game's trash." It's got a lot. It's got a lot for you out there, dude. Angel of Darkness is. Dude, it's so funny because they were gonna have this mechanic where she would like get stronger throughout the game. You would like
that was the RPG stuff. Yeah,
right. And you would do like a certain amount of jumps, all of a sudden she would jump further, but they never figure that out. So it just happens like at the weirdest moments. Like you'll rip open a drawer that was stuck, and she'll be like, I feel stronger now. And then all of a sudden now you can push that crate you couldn't push before. It's so dumb. I love it.
Oh my goodness.
I can understand. Dude, it's ridiculous. But
please tell me there's a jar of pickles.
It's so funny. Oh man, that would be really smart. That'd be like the final boss.
She walks into the room and there's nothing else. It's just a jar of pickles.
Like a lightning strike in the background, ominously.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Jacob, your turn.
Hi.
You've been playing Potion Shop Simulator, and I'm not going to ask why yet. So, but
why I've been playing.
This is from Pebbles Games. It was provided to us by Starfall PR again. So now, why are you playing this?
I have a thing for shop games. I don't know why.
The man loves his markets. Yeah,
I do. And this fits in really well, although it says off the bat that it is a 2-man team making the game, and so it's very
those are
small.
Always cool. Yeah,
it's very small, but the focus of the game is less the shop and the selling. The selling is very rudimentary. People pick up items, they walk into the shop, you accept it or you haggle, and then when you accept it, they give you money and you walk out the store. The point of this game is the potions. They have about 8 ingredients for these potions that you can make, and you can different combinations, different numbers of items, all that kind of stuff. When you put them in the cauldron, it comes out with different sizes, different grades of the potions, and then you take them out and you can fix them up in different ways and make them better. The customers that come to your shop expect a certain level of item, a certain size of an item, and so you can tailor the potions that you're making to sell to those customers specifically. And so that's how you kind of build your shop and make it better and whatever, by getting better at making the potions.
So how do you so is this a like how do you get these ingredients, or like do you have to go?
You have to roam around. I mean, the map is very small, and so you just kind of roam around the outskirts of town looking for things on the ground, and so you're just kind of like, oh look, this flower stands out among the other things, and you pick it up and it's something, and you take it back to the cauldron, you dump it in the cauldron, you figure out how you can use it more effectively. They give you drying racks and more mortar and pestles to further increase the potency of the items that you collect throughout the world. Different shops allow you to have different items to also help with the management of quality of the potions that you make. There's a distillery that you can use that once, like if you were to add a certain number of items and you made a very bad potion, there's different grades of them. There's diluted, like, okay, I've never made a really bad potion. It's really quite easy to make decent potions, but I say decent, but that's bad. Good or greater potions in the game. It's all different combinations of items in different quantities that make these potions, the different qualities. But with the distillery factory, you take the potion that's done, you put it in there, and it makes it a better quality. So there's things before and after the potion making process that allows you to make these potions better. And again, the focus is on obviously the focus is on the potions themselves and trying to find new potions and new ways how to make them better and continue in the process of making your customers happy.
Okay. So is there like any kind of story to it, or is it just
the story is rather weird. So it starts off with you being a a graduate of Wizard U and with a bachelor's or something in alchemy. And so you look for a job, but all the new alchemy stands require 5 or more years of training before you're allowed to be an apprentice. So in your search for a job, you find this faraway job in a faraway land that's basically ruled by monsters. None of the patrons are normal humans; they're all trolls or weird humanesque tigers or tree folk or whatever. But the I don't know what the shopkeeper was supposed to be. I haven't met him, but he hires you, and then you go there, and then you're by yourself. And I don't know why you assume to continue your working there without getting paid, but somebody goes, "Yeah, you've got the shop now. Just take care of it." So you start, and then as you go through, you start meeting people to talk to, and they kind of go, well, yeah, the guy who was working there went off trying to find this secret potion. And so you're running around town doing odd jobs for people, giving them certain potions, uncovering the mystery of where this guy went, which is to the library, apparently like 400 times, because it's one of the like 7 buildings that's in town. But I don't know. I feel like I've visited the library so many times.
He's like a Gandalf researching the One Ring. He's just reading those scrolls for years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But again, the game is very small, so there's not a lot of places to go. But the way that they have made, because your work with the potions is so important to everything that you're doing, when somebody asks you for a certain potion and you don't know that potion yet, you are at the cauldron, like throwing things in there, trying to figure out what does what, how this affects it, and then what it is. And then if you're not very good, like once you start making more money, like half, like partially way through the game, things start becoming easier, getting the potions for people and all that kind of stuff. Then they start asking for greater quantities of these potions. And so then you're there is a slight farming aspect. You get a greenhouse, and in the greenhouse you can make the ingredients more readily available for yourself. And so you end up spending more time farming these materials in your greenhouse and pulling them back into the potion shop and then throwing them in random concoctions to see what you come out with.
Okay.
So it's been fun. I find myself just kind of throwing random things in it to see what I can find. I think I've got all but one potion unlocked, and I have no idea what to do with it. I've done, because there's 4 types of ingredients. It's all the elements. It's fire, wind, water, earth, that kind of stuff. Go planet. And thank you. Finally, someone laughs at me.
It took me way too
Planet.
long. By the time I got it, it wasn't funny anymore.
Anyway, but there's only so many combinations that you can put these 4 elements in, and then you need certain 1-to-1 ratios for the potions. And I've tried everything and cannot figure out what this last potion is. And then there's supposed to be another potion that he's supposed to tell you once you find the owner of the shop wherever he's gone. But yeah, somebody requires this last potion, and I've spent days, in-game days, like harvesting items, going back to the cauldron, trying to figure out what the ratio is and what elements it is to figure out what this last potion is. And then I have to perfect it into a certain way to give it to the person to move on in the story. So in the entire time you're managing a shop.
Okay. I was going to ask. Okay. So is the game complete? Like, have you finished it? Like, I know you said you had one potion you hadn't done. Is there?
I think the game's in early access.
Okay.
I don't know if it's complete yet or not. It seems like it's to a completed level for what for the size of the people of the company, whatever that's making the game. It seems like it's a complete product. It's fun enough. Yeah, I've definitely put quite a few hours into it. But yeah, it's a good size game.
Okay.
The map
So
is small, but
so based on what you've told me, I'm guessing you recommend this to people that are into the simulation, like the store management type
oh yeah.
stuff.
If you like a shopkeeping game that's more based on the back half of the behind the scenes stuff, that's basically what this game really holds on to, is everything that's happening behind the storefront.
Okay.
So yeah, I like it.
And there's no price yet. It's just like you said, it's in early access. But again, that was being made by Pebbles Games and was provided by Starfall PR. So thank you to those guys.
Yeah, I'll stick with my own potion simulator in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where I can make a potion to make me more attractive to the ladies if I need to.
So it's alcohol.
Or cure a hangover. I mean, I think that particular potion does have a wine base, so I think you're onto something.
Oh yes. Is that what like the cure-alls that people make? We're gonna do a raw egg, oregano, and 3
vodka.
bottles of Advil and vodka, and then you drink it all in one shot, and your headache goes away. Here's a hangover.
That's what Henry's doing. But Kevin, you joined Mark and Alyssa not too long ago to bring us additional reviews for The Executive, Hoover Heroes, and Alex's Journey to the Grave. So let's see what you guys had to say now.
So I'm Alyssa White, obviously. You guys should know me by now. And I'm talking today with first Mark. Mark, you've been playing The Executive Movie Industry Tycoon. Mm-hmm. And this seems very interesting management sim, because you're playing as an executive, and it looks like you have to make movies and also take into account the budget, things of that nature. Is it fun to do this?
It's fun if that sounds like a game for you.
Okay.
So you'll read in my review. I grew up, I worked at Blockbuster during my teen years. This was in the early to mid 90s, the heyday of independent filmmaking, where people made movies with their credit cards. So I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was younger. And so this let me live that dream, essentially. You start from the base, not a basement, but from very small beginnings. You can either inherit money or you can borrow it and you have to pay it back. That's depending on the difficulty setting that you put. And then you just dive right in and you start making a movie. You have to choose your director, your actor, you set the budget, how you want to spend the budget, the type of movie that you're going to make. And then as you progress through the game, you unlock new genres, new abilities, new things that you do. You have to start hiring people for your movie studio. And then the true depth of the sim comes into play, because you have to be aware of all of these moving pieces in your movie studio, as well as the hiring and firing. So you can enjoy it as much as you like. It's that in-depth of a game. And it is a lot of fun for me, but I some people saying, no, I'll pass on that one.
Now, can you actually see the movie you make, or is it just, you see you see like the ratings the critics and the audience give it and how it does financially?
Correct. And that's all you see. You don't actually watch a movie. In fact, while the movie is being made, in the early stages of the game, you can only make one movie at a time. And you're just basically sitting there waiting for pre-production to finish or filming to finish. And you have to actually speed up time to make it go by faster. But then once the movie comes out, you're on kind of on the edge of your seat. Will I get nominated for an award? Will this movie do well? How much money did I make back? Things like that. I wish I could have seen at least a little trailer, like a 30-second trailer or something. I think that would have been a nice hit.
That would have been more sense.
I wasn't missing.
So when you talk about you're able to hire all these production people and all that fun stuff, do you choose, does it give you people with certain stats or something that you get to choose from, or is it just hey, here's
they give you a pool of candidates. Well, I'll take one step back before I move on to that. Like when you're hiring your director, it tells you what their public persona score is. It tells you if they match up with the genre of movie that you would like to make. If they've had successful movies in the past, things like that. So they get a score and you can hire them based on that score. The same applies once you start hiring the people for your studio. They will give you a pool of candidates. You can select them based on pay, based on experience, based on up and coming, hungry to learn and grow, things like that. It is full. It's one of the most in-depth simulators I've ever played as far as the things that you're responsible for go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seemed like that in the trailer. Like it just seemed like there were a bunch of different aspects that you have to manage yourself.
Mhm.
How difficult was it? I mean, does it get really difficult or
Not difficult, it's just juggling. Once you
okay?
start learning how to juggle, you can juggle pretty skillfully type of situation. And at the beginning, as you're ramping up, yeah, it's difficult. There are a lot of things to click on, a lot of different interfaces that you need to deal with. And as you progress through the game, you get more and more things that you have to click through to make sure that you're managing things properly.
Okay. So you dug this game, right?
Oh, I totally dug it because they made a game that said, "Hey, this looks like a game from Mark. How about we make it?"
I mean, it sounds really interesting.
I was gonna say I'm not a movie guy, but like just based on what you're telling me, I might actually check it out a little bit.
For the price, you really can't go wrong
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, it's only $14.99 and it's developed by Aniki Games, published by Goblins Publishing and Maple Whispering Limited, and the code was provided to us by Jesus Fabre Games, so thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, sounds like a good time. Like I'm interested in it, so.
For sure.
Cool.
So, Kevin, you've been playing a game called Hoover Heroes, which looked like a little mix of like Among Us, along with some other party games. Am I getting the right impression on this one?
Yeah, pretty much. It is very much the physics of the Among Us and the Fall Guy, the floppy, just crazy mechanics. This is a little different though because there is a shooting mechanic. Basically, it's called Hoover Heroes because you are armed with vacuums.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it puts you in an arena with 4 friends, up to 4 friends right now. I think when the actual game comes out, it's supposed to be up to 8, but right now it's only 4 in the demo. And it puts you in an arena, and there are numerous objects, just like one of them's a laundromat. Okay.
Mhm.
So the walls are lined with wash machines, and you have like bottles of detergent, and there's like a hazard cone and a bucket and just random items that you can suck up in your vacuum. Some of them are heavier than others, so when you shoot them, they do more damage.
Oh, okay.
But the goal is basically to knock as many people out as possible before the time's up. Or I think
Oh.
you can set it in a custom match to whoever gets the first to like 20 knockouts or something like that.
So it is completely PvP. There is no
It is
working
completely
together.
PvP. No,
Okay.
it is a straight up PvP party game. It was like the actual matches were so much fun.
They look
But
fun.
right now, I don't know if this is something that's going to be fixed later, but right now you have to know people that play this game,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I again, this is just a demo, so maybe it'll be different by the time the game rolls around because there is like a lobby you can go to, but it's not like nothing's set up. So I'm guessing that's going to be a lobby for like just matches with randoms. The other thing, and this is a big knock for on my end, is like I love party games, but I love party games when I'm with the company of friends
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
family. There is no local multiplayer for this game.
Oh.
They don't even do like Steam even does. It's only on Steam, but Steam even has an option with most games to where one person can use a keyboard and mouse, another person can use a controller. They don't
Sure.
even have that here. So I don't know how far into development it is when it's slated to come out, but yeah, as far as the demo goes, I hope that's something they change because this is a game that needs to be played with people in the room.
Okay. Would you recommend it? Well, let's ask this question twice. If they don't make these fixes, would you recommend it? And if they do make those fixes that you said, would you recommend
If you have a party of people that you regularly play with online with these kind of games, then heck yes, I'd recommend it. It is a serious blast. If you don't have at least like 4 people that you regularly like to me, if I have a group of people that I play online with, it's not this kind of game. You know, if I'm playing online with people, it's the Gears and the Baldur's Gates and the you
Sure.
know, the bigger
Yeah.
games. To make a party game like this just online only seems very weird to me. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it's just a demo, so maybe that's going to change. But yeah, if you don't have friends that you normally play these games with online that would also have the game, unfortunately I'd say I don't really know if it's worth it. Not for the demo. Like I said, hopefully
Well,
they fix it by the time it comes out.
Maybe
yeah,
they
it's so
will.
early on; they don't even have a price set on it yet. So
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
they'll figure some of those things out and make it a game that can be enjoyed by more.
Yeah, because I can't reiterate enough that the actual gameplay when you can find 4 people to play with is so much fun. But yeah,
Right on. Well, Hoover Heroes was developed and published by Kiki Games, and the PR came to us from Kiki Games themselves via the key mailer.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was Hoover Heroes. Anything before we move on to the next game, Kevin?
yeah, no, that was it's basically a simple arena battler, but yeah, it's a lot of fun if you can find people to play with. But going past that though, Alyssa, you've been playing Alex's Journey to the Grove.
The grave.
Grave, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need cheaters. I don't have my reading glasses yet.
It's okay. Yeah, this is just a demo as well, and it is a visual novel. It only took me about 30 minutes to complete the demo, which it says on Steam it takes about an hour and a half. So I'm
Oh, wow.
I'm a fast reader, but I managed to cut out an hour.
Wow.
But I'm really intrigued by it though, because it does deal with mental health, which I'm very passionate about, and it does go into some dark places, and I really like the way they have done it so far, because they don't explicitly say really what is going on, but like if you've experienced it when you're reading, what they're going through. It feels respectful, and it feels like the team really cares, and they've done a really good job so far with wording things correctly, and the writing is really compelling. um I can't say too much without spoiling the entire demo, because it's only 30 minutes to an hour and a half long.
Hmm.
But basically, you're just following 2 characters, both named Alex. One's a guy, one's a girl, and they both are experiencing mental health issues,
Hmm.
and they meet each other online.
Okay. So they meet each other online and just like, are they where are they going once they meet each other online?
They kind of just start taking comfort from each other. They give each other advice, tell each other stories. They're just there for each other. They don't feel as alone after they find each other online.
Okay. Is it all text based like
It
choices and
is,
stuff? Okay.
yeah.
And
Well,
so from
there, from what
go
I've
ahead, I'm sorry.
played, there were no choices, so I don't know if by the time the game comes out later this year there'll be choices added, or if it's just going to be strictly text based. But right now it is just text based.
Okay. So it is just strictly a visual novel,
Mm-hmm.
literally. Okay. All right. So with I mean, that is kind of up your alley. Is this an
Oh yeah.
enjoyable one?
It's not enjoyable in a fun aspect, but it's compelling. If you're into mental health stuff like I am, you'll really enjoy this. It does have darker topics that are alluded to, so you might want to be careful if you have some triggers. But for me, I'm really interested in this, and if you have the same taste as I do, then I would say go ahead and play the demo, give it a shot. It's not that long, and you'll know from this demo if you want to play the full game when it releases. So I recommend it if you have kind of the same taste I do.
Okay. Awesome.
Does Alyssa, if I may jump
Mhm.
in and ask a question, does this game, would you recommend it to someone who might be having those dark feelings, for lack of a better phrase, or would that be better suited for somebody who might have already gotten past it?
That's kind of difficult for me to say because people are different. I'm currently going through a tough time, and I felt comforted by the fact that these
Very
characters
nice.
are also experiencing this, but it could be triggering for someone. So you have to really know yourself. So some people might find comfort with this, some might find it triggering. So just be aware of your of who you are, your mental state, and go from there.
Well
Okay,
said.
that was a great question. Yeah, and you're playing it on PC, right?
Yeah, I'm playing. Well, I actually played the demo on my Steam Deck, and it ran beautifully. So
Okay. All right, and that is from Violet Horizons Productions. And they also got us the key via key mailer.
All right. Back to
See ya.
Scott and the crew.
Wow, that was riveting conversation, guys. Great. About as good as so we have a Facebook group. That's what I'm told. I wouldn't know, but I've heard rumors that you can talk to other gamers at facebook.com/group/GoCast. If you want to get in on the conversation, you can join over there. If you want to talk somewhere where I actually am, so maybe not. We do have a Discord as well. You can find the link at thegamingoutsider.com or in our show notes. If you feel so inclined, review us on your podcast app of choice. Thumbs up, give us a star, whatever the algorithm tells you to do. And then if you go over to thegamingoutsider.com, you can read all of our written content, like a lot of our written news, as well as our written reviews. I know Alyssa wrote a couple of reviews for Him, The Smile, and The Bloom, as well as Alex's Journey to the Grave. And then Mark, our news editor, wrote a review for The Executive. So be sure to check all of that out. The website is very active as of late. So if you know how to read, there's a lot going on over there. But without further ado, let's get it to our From the Outside In topic. CB had an idea for a topic this week before he bailed on the podcast. He wanted to talk about urban legends that we've heard about in games over the years. I have to guess most of them took place when we were much younger, right? I assume pre-internet was probably a bastion for this kind of stuff. But we'll go over any we can, regardless of the age. Now, in the past, we've done a topic on Easter eggs in video games, which might cause some crossover. But what do you think sets an Easter egg apart from an urban legend, Kevin?
Well, that's quite simple in my mind. An urban legend is a secret in a game that like something you can achieve. An Easter egg is just like an ode to something else. That's
or
the way I see it. Yeah.
Or some kind of like quick hidden thing, like
Right, conversation done. We're good.
Right? Yeah. Hey, look, dude, I didn't write the format. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, that was the best.
That's quite a summation. I mean, Kevin, he's a smart
That was
guy.
the
You should be on the podcast more often.
Easy now. Simmer down there.
Well, I think we all agree with Kevin's assessment. So, Jake, let's just get right into it. What are some memorable urban legends you've come across?
So you couldn't, like, just thinking back, I've thought of a couple of things. Minecraft has got one, Pokemon's got a few, blah, blah, whatever. So I decided to look it up and I wrote down some interesting ones that I found. So I have a list, so let's just go through it real quick. E.T.'s landfill. Hey, calm down now. There's no need to call names. Besides, lists are Scott things.
Honorable having 15 honorable mentions a CB thing. But anyway, Jake, you said E.T. landfill.
Yeah. When Atari dumped a bunch of games from the E.T. game, a bunch of the cartridges into a landfill and left it. That actually came out to be true. They dumped 728,000 copies into a landfill, along with copies of Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. And that was unearthed, I think, in 2012, that they went through and actually dug up the landfill and found all these copies.
Yeah, which is wild because obviously, it's been known as a fact for more than a decade now. But yeah, growing up, dude, that was absolutely an urban legend that seemed kind of too crazy to believe. But I don't know what else were you going to do with 750,000 copies of ET that nobody wanted?
Right, that nobody wanted. But I mean, it seems like there's been a thing about that in different media where they're just like, oh, well, we found a landfill filled with these old copies of whatever it was. And I mean, it seems like that kind of cliche urban legend has just been kind of around for a while.
ET paved the way.
Yeah.
So other mentions, we have the Minus World in 1985 Super Mario Bros. If you did a special trick, you'd end up in this world that was -1. It was supposed to be
It
world
was like
30.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a water world, but it was the like the showing string wasn't long enough, and it was supposed to be world 36-1, but the 36 never made it on there, so it looked like it was -1. Because of a glitch, Pokemon's Missing Number Pokemon, 1996 Pokemon
Right.
Red and Blue.
Yeah.
That was
online.
that was a thing that somebody found and was like, "Oh, this is crazy. You can find this." And for a while, it was not there. And now people have figured out how to replicate it constantly, and so that's confirmed. Kevin, you'll like this one. There were rumors that Michael Jackson composed the music in Sonic 3. That seemed to be confirmed and not confirmed. Some anonymous people had said it was confirmed that he bowed out because of certain allegations that were happening at the time. But
I think it landed on confirmed, right? At the
Yes,
end of it.
it is confirmed. He did
Yeah.
the what's the word? He didn't do he wrote the music, but he didn't bow out. He was pulled away from.
yeah,
Because he was too busy with them kids.
Yep.
I wasn't going to
Busy
say
man.
it, but
Hey, dude, Neverland Ranch. It's kind of a weird,
in Super Mario 64, there was a mystery Goomba that you could find if you did something weird by killing yourself. But normally in the game, the Goombas spawn in groups of 3. And so in one of the areas, there's only 2 Goombas to be found. So people went on an excavation to find this missing Goomba, and they found in the code that that area does spawn a 3rd Goomba. But because the spawn of that Goomba is outside the playing field, it spawns at the kill floor at the bottom of the level. And so by throwing yourself off the map, you can actually find this Goomba, but because it's the way the camera angle stops at a certain point, there's not really a good picture of it. They've got this pixelated picture of this Goomba, but it's down there supposedly. Also with Super Mario 64, Yoshi. He does have a cameo at the end of the game once you collect all the stars, but inside the code, these people had found that there were things for an egg and a hatching animation. So at some point, Yoshi was going to be there. Yoshi was supposed to come out of the egg, or was going to be an implemented part in the game as a whole. 2001 Super Smash Bros. Melee. You could play as Master Hand, if anyone knows who the Master Hand is.
Oh, yeah, dude. I remember hearing
boss.
all about this. Yeah.
Because of a technical glitch in the code, if you were to try to name your character and push a button and then somehow accept the name creation, it defaulted to the Master Hand character for whatever reason. And then you played as Master Hand. The only problem is there was no other animations outside of his actual like move set and things. So if you actually completed the match with him in there, the game would just crash.
Oh wow.
Going back to Sonic CD in 1993 had a sound test area that you could get into, and if you got to certain files or whatever, this screen popped up that was coded in Sonic characters with human-like faces, kind of wiggling their fingers at you while playing creepy music. It came from one of the developers. It was supposed to be a joke, but that was also confirmed to be true. And so he's written something about like, well, I didn't mean it to be creepy. I didn't mean for it to be whatever, but it was actually supposed to be a joke. Going on to some other ones, the secret cow level in Diablo. The first one, people thought that if you clicked on enough cows, you would be magically transported to this world where you fought cows. And Blizzard caught wind of it and said, okay, if you want to fight cows, we'll fight cows. So in 2 and in 3, they added cow levels for if you actually get there, you murderize cows, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, they're trying to kill you, so
that's true. They have battle axes and stuff, so that works.
Yeah, I remember that's how my when I started first played Diablo 2 with my cousin, it's the first thing he did was take me to the cow level because he said it was good for some sweet level ups and just let me get murderized. That stuff. What a funny kid.
One of the last ones I have, which is weird to me. I don't know how. This one's one of the unconfirmed ones I found, but In 1996 Pokemon's Red and Blue, you could have Mew 3. If you got Mew and Mewtwo up to level 100
Mew
and beat
3.
the final,
Oh,
if you
man.
got Mew and Mewtwo up to level 100 and beat the final 4 and then rested at your house, for some reason people thought that they would fuse together and become Mew 3.
That's cool.
No idea, but those are. I mean, there's a bunch of these urban legends out there, and it's a bunch of different games and a bunch of different times and all over the place. So that's the list I thought was interesting. Kevin, what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty floored when I started actually looking into this and saw how many there actually were. But like I was not expecting there to be this plethora of, I mean, it's a bottomless bucket of things that were talked about like this. The biggest one for me that I remember is I'm going to jump down to this comment here from this listener. Kevin Honigford sounds like a sexy dude. Like,
Sounds pretty, no doubt.
Yeah.
I bet he's
believe-
wicked
he's kinda
smart. Doesn't
angry.
give himself enough credit. I bet that's the
I'd-
case.
Yeah, that's probably. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
He's
let
an
that one go.
angry dude. He always tells me to shut up.
that's a core aspect of your personality, Jacob, is that it makes everyone tell you to shut up.
No, the biggest one I remember is the Final Fantasy VII, and there was for the longest time there was these. It was an urban myth that you could bring a certain character back to life by doing certain things. And there were numerous ways that you could supposedly do this. The biggest one that I remember that was I just kind of got tired of farming for, so I never tried it, was using tissues at a certain place. The thing was you had to use 99 tissues to do this, and using tissues or using any item in that Final Fantasy game is just going to the menu, selecting it one at a time, and just like doing that alone would be like, ugh. But
Right?
but that was the big thing. And there were so many. There were, I mean, just also the other big one was with me and my friends was I don't remember what game it was, but there was supposedly a game that the government had made that was specifically designed to, was it brainwash you, I think?
Is this Polybius?
I think that you might be right there. That sounds
something
familiar.
like that. Yeah.
But
because didn't like Men in Black come and like retrieve the the data and whatnot?
yes,
like that?
yes,
Yeah,
it had a bit in that
this.
movie. Yes, that was.
Yeah.
Just like when you were like 16, 15, 14 years old or whatever, like that was the thing you talked about with your buddies. It was like, oh, dude, the government's got video games to do a mind control and all this fun stuff, and it's just
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing all about that. Yeah. So does that wrap it up for you, Kevin?
Yep. I was going to get to the segue and say, Zach, what about you? You interrupted me, so
I'm not a natural at this hosting thing. All right.
I get yelled at all the time for pointing out segues. So much so I stopped.
All right, so allow me to segue to myself. So speaking of Pokemon, I remember Mew was supposed to be underneath a truck. I don't know if you guys heard of this one, where there was like a truck that was kind of out of bounds. You could glitch over to it, and I believe you just clicked on it enough, and Mew would just pop out for a random battle. That's what all the kids said. That was a lie. Although I think Mew is in the game code for Red and Blue, right? So there was some basis in reality. And then, of course, Bigfoot and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That was a big one.
Yep.
I swear you could like find screenshots online, and people would always give you directions on how to find Bigfoot, and they were all lies. But I tried all of them. So I remember that, and then they made good on it in the Red Dead Undead Nightmare DLC, where you could just kill a bunch of Sasquatches. But I remember I remember that being a huge deal in San Andreas, especially where like people would have these screens. They looked so real at the time. They probably look like ridiculous now. And then I remember, my friend told me, and it was it was a rumor around our school, but later learned it was kind of relegated to us. It was that you could play as Metal Mario in Super Smash Brothers, which hit me
I remember
hard because.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
no, I do know about that.
okay, but we were told you had to like beat Smash Brothers on the hardest difficulty with every character, no deaths, like, and that's how you unlocked him. And I always loved just being Metal Mario in 64. So like me and my brothers, man, we did it. We
I
spent
feel like that was something my kids were talking about.
really good. Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm glad it's
I-
made the rounds.
Yeah, because I didn't play Smash Brothers, but I do know about that. So that had to be something my boys talked about at some point in time.
All right, good. The kids know all about Metal Mario and how cool he is. It's so fun walking on the ocean floor. Anyway, I thought for sure you could play as him in Smash Brothers. He'd be kind of pointless in that game, right? Because he would probably just sink off the edge so quickly. But
I mean, they do have
I
metal
didn't care.
characters in that game,
Do they? I haven't played a lot.
Yeah.
I only played that first
but
one.
you can't like not. I mean, it's an item that you can get for it's a power up, but it's not an actual character.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I do specifically remember them talking about unlocking Metal Mario, and there was something
Hell
you had to do it. I do actually
Hell
remember
yeah.
that.
All right.
Hell
Cool.
yeah!
Hell yeah. Dude. Well, hope they wasted all their summer to do it.
I feel like they probably did.
Yeah.
Okay, they had to do something. And then lastly, I don't know if did you guys hear about the haunted Majora's Mask cartridge? It was
I don't. I've heard of this. I don't remember what it is though.
Wasn't that whole game haunted?
Yeah.
touche.
I mean, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But so I'm kind of pulling out of a memory here. So if I get the details wrong, don't sue me.
Oh, I'm looking it up. Hold on. Well,
so the kid like rented a copy of Majora's Mask from his game store, but it had a save file for this kid Ben. And when he loaded it up, it had like a creepy statue in the courtyard of Clocktown that you could like use, I think, the lens of truth to maybe get more information out of, and it would just it would talk about Ben having drowned, and if you try to delete the save file for Ben, it would be there the next day. It was just kind of this creepy internet story, but I don't know, man. I was like 10 or 11 when that game came out, and I was convinced that there was just this haunted copy of Majora's Mask out there. So I just it didn't stop me from renting it. But
are you sure you weren't reading like scary stories to tell in the dark or something?
No, I think the internet would call it a creepypasta now. I think that's the term for it. But at the time, it was just as kind of a ghost fire story, a campfire ghost story told on the internet. But it was because I remember it like as it was coming out, because the guy would update like every day as he further explored this copy of Majora's Mask, but in reality, obviously, just cooked up the next chapter of his fan fiction. But
that's pretty damn clever, though.
At the time, it was a lot of fun to follow along with the great saga of Ben drowned. So look that up. That was a fun urban legend. That's kind of like a traditional, urban legend, like of a kind of a horror thing. So that was a lot of fun.
Retro Gamer Online. I feel like that's somebody I know, but I don't recognize the tag. But he did confer. He said, "Yeah, it was Polybus. That was the quote unquote mind control game."
Yeah, the Retro Gamer Online is Sean Coates.
Yes, that's who it is. Hey, Sean.
Who no doubt experienced the Bigfoot urban legend in real time along with me, I'm sure. But I guess that wraps it up for what we had to say. Let's see what the community had to say. Jumping over to Facebook, Jake, why don't you take the first comment?
Aaron Hughes says, probably like everyone else, the codes and glitches to get Laura Croft naked. Oh yes, triangle boobies. Every infant boy's dream. Yep. There was lots of talk of that kind of stuff too. There was even one for The Sims. There was talk about getting a glitch to see The Sims naked, which I don't know why you'd want to, but
I remember trying like hell to get The Sims one to happen. Because they actually make Whoopi. When you're like a young boy, you're like, oh my god, really?
Oh, for a second. All right, context. I thought you said they make whoopee when you're a young boy, and I was like, wait a minute. That's
You're right.
Okay.
That's what Michael
so-
Jackson. Oh no.
They made whoopee, period. When you're a young boy,
You
even the Sims look hot.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't do The Sims, but I did. I will shamefully admit that yes, I was one of them that was trying whatever I could do to see the Kleenex box babies.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, me as well. I
don't
think
call
if it
them
wa-
that.
there. I remember reading a cheat code, but all it actually did was just made you explode and die.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I remember that happening.
There was
initial
also
Rickroll.
Yeah, there was also
yeah,
like
basically.
when Doom was a thing, the original Doom, there were codes in there to like give yourself God mode and all the weapons and all the ammo and all that fun stuff. Then ID came out with a game called Heretic, which was a Doom clone, basically, but it was more like magic and sorcery and stuff. If you did the same thing and put the codes in there, it did the opposite of what. So in God mode, it would kill you. And for all the weapons, it would take whatever you had away. And so that was pretty cool too. You talked about the whole codes that made you explode. That made me think about that.
Yeah, no, it's good. Sean Coates also confirmed here you could remove the blur in The Sims, but of course they were as anatomically correct as a Barbie doll. And if that is the case, then I'm happy young me never figured it out because I would have been so devastated.
Well, my Barbie dolls look like that. They look like there. That must be what they look like.
Jesus, that's just what girls look like,
Right.
Kevin, take us over to Discord before we take ourselves into hell.
All right. Rusty says, I believed you could unlock Luigi in the original Super Mario 64. The reasoning that I read was super convincing for a 9-ish-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
The instructions to unlock Luigi involve getting stars in really crazy ways. I learned how to do most of them, but eventually realized it was fake. Ultimately, I guess I got better at the game from the rumor. LOL, it's called Luigi is Real 2401 rumor, if you've never heard of it. Harkens back to the days of the early internet. Haha.
I do remember that one.
Yep.
I remember the Luigi's Real 2401. I don't know what the hell the 2401 means, but I do remember.
I don't either. But I do actually remember that being a thing.
Mm-hmm. And then TJ Kitsune writes in, I always heard rumors about Shang Long as a hidden character in Street Fighter 2. Turns out it was a mistranslation of Shiruken. Yeah, I think we all experienced that one.
Yep.
They later canonized
one of his
Shang Long, right?
I
Did they
feel
make
like they
Shang
probably
Long
did
character?
later.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I remember that being a thing because one of his like victory scenes was you must defeat Shang Long or something.
Yeah. To beat me or
something along
like
those lines. Yeah.
That's funny. And then I guess Jake, you want to read this last comment, even though it harkens back to all of us.
Mr. Sean Coates. This example's a little NSFW, but the nude raider rumors about Lara Croft back in the day, it didn't help that people made mods to circulate it online back during the dial-up days. Yeah, I mean, people, especially with mod communities now, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, God, I can't even imagine what they're doing with Stellar Blade out there on PC.
Right.
I mean, they don't have to do much.
No.
That's true. He's got to move a pixel 1 inch to the right.
Yeah.
For
But
whatever reason, like the most.
We're all,
yeah.
What?
we're all on the same page about Lara Croft.
I was gonna say we're all
deviants.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Well, you have to. If anybody out there is younger, you have to understand the internet wasn't this readily accessible resource, right? So we took these crumbs, every crumb we could get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You take what you could get. Yeah, it is like you said though. Like all of these things kind of died as the internet got bigger
the mystery
bigger and bigger.
The mystery of what a girl looked like without a shirt died.
They don't look like.
That's not where I was going, but that's a good point.
Well, not only that, but like as the internet got faster, these rumors would get squashed just as fast as they would pop up.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
oh no, like
Yeah.
I believe you can do this, and then the very next hour there's a video. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Right. Well, yeah, people can they'll just hack into the game code and be like, oh, there's no mention of Mew. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So
Right.
all fun has been killed. You're right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn internets.
But speaking of murdering fun, that will do it for this episode of the Gaming Outsider. Thank you so much for
Murdering
listening.
fun.
That's right, dude. That's how I like to leave
That's
it.
what my wife does.
Oh my goodness.
Damn, man. Jeez, dude.
I hope.
Don't
I hope she's
don't play
listening.
the Division 2 if this is what's
No.
going to happen.
It's a running joke in my family. I call her Melinda, aka the Fun Killer Gunderson.
You guys going to play some split fiction. It's going to lead to a split relationship.
A split marriage.
Yeah. You can play It Takes Two. And you guys can live it out in real time.
Right.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. This episode of the Gaming Outsider was produced by Kevin Honigford. I assume he's here right now, so I guess he's going to do it at some point.
No,
And all
Scott
the
and I are
music you hear-
Scott and I are trading roles. He's producing.
Oh,
He doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
oh boy, that'll be the
on
worst
his
yet.
deathbed.
Allegedly, we don't know. Anyway, all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal, which you can find at stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concern. Our email address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Kevin, any parting words or recommendations for the listeners?
I was not prepared for this part.
I'm
You know what?
never prepared for it.
What?
I'm never prepared for this part.
Oh, like this last week, just trying to push through the games. I didn't get much outside of games done. So unfortunately, I'm coming up lame here.
Understood. Jake, I feel like I shouldn't even ask you because every week you say, "Why did you ask me this?"
This is true.
But I'm gonna ask you.
My problem is I like playing games. Playing games is more of a passion to me than just a hobby because I'm addicted to it really, really bad. And I don't do a
agree.
lot of other
Yeah.
things. But cleaning your house, like I've started spring cleaning with my wife, and it feels
Yeah.
good to get the old clutter out and make room for new clutter.
Yes, the new clutter will come.
And Paul Hine did have he had a good point there. He said good advice is just go play Baldur's Gate 3. That's it.
I want to.
Yeah.
I actually, I didn't know. I guess I didn't tell Scott. So I went to go buy the physical copy finally, off of Larian's website, but they're currently out of stock. But they
Really?
yeah, but they replenish. So that's
Okay.
which is nice of them. It's not a limited thing. It's just when they have units, they can sell them. So next batch, I think I'm going to finally pick it up. Look forward to
Okay.
playing it even slower than you guys played it. Can't wait.
Now there should be 4 people in the
years.
party. Now it should be Kevin, Paul, Scott, and Zach.
Yeah, I would like to. I don't know if I would like to make the commitment to a Sunday. That would be fun. Because then I could be
I
the
know.
new guy. But
So you're out west, so that's what 2 hours
yeah, so that's
behind.
Oh,
Right.
gross.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I could get up. What do you guys get to play at like 5 in the morning, right?
I mean, we normally got up at 6. Yeah.
6. I guess I could wake up at 4. That'll be fun. What could go wrong?
I mean, meet in the middle. They get up at 7. You get up at 5.
I don't know, man. That's actually
A
I
little
don't
give
know.
and take.
We might have to talk off. We might have to talk in the coming weeks about this. Actually, because I wake up at 5 for work. It's only an extra hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Uh,
we could push it back an hour too. We'll see.
Yeah. But anyway, as for me, my recommendation is go ride a horse. Because as Jake pointed out, I should be doing this earlier in my life, but I didn't have a lot of opportunities growing up. So I'm glad glad my wife finally made it happen, and I want to ride horses again. It was a lot of fun. I was surprised because I have pretty bad balance issues, so I thought I was going to go terribly awry. Because as they were, saddling up the horse, he kept mentioning balance. So I was like, I'm going to fall off and hit my damn head. Can't wait. But
I'm gonna Superman myself.
But I took to it rather naturally, so I felt good about that. But so that's my recommendation.
I don't. So can I piggyback that?
No.
Sure.
Good night, everybody. Oh, no.
Like the people on the one horse, or
Well, like I'm a big dude, Okay,
Uh-huh.
and when Jack and I went to Mexico, one of our little excursions had a horse ride. The only way to get through this town in Mexico was on horseback. I felt so damn bad for that horse, dude. I was like, they put me on, and that horse just took off. He was like, "Get this fat dude off of me!"
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun though. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I felt good. I felt like I was channeling like a cowboy soul right into that horse. So I felt good.
There you go.
But until
I rode a horse. Oh, I rode a horse many
No.
years ago as a kid. My mom took me, and we got to the place to ride the horses, and I was like, man, this is lame. This is not what I want to be doing right now. And then I got on the horse, and I was like, this isn't bad.
know,
This is
right?
kind of cool.
It's I don't know. It's why like the horse, the animal just feels like it was made for that purpose, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like how dogs seem like they were just seem like they were designed with humans in mind to be your best friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Horses seem like they were designed with humans in mind to.
That's a weird way. That's weird is not the right word. That's an interesting way to look at it. But yeah,
they were made to take you across some strange Mexican town.
But you can only ride horseback.
That one was not made for me. that poor horse.
That poor horse.
They gave me like the smallest one out of the whole group too.
Yeah, that seems like it's on them really more than you or the horse.
Maybe they were trying to get rid of the horse.
They were finally looking for the excuse. Jesus.
Well, that's the fat guy that broke the camel's back. Like,
shoot. Well, there's no better note to leave out on. So until next week, I'm Zach Parksu with Jacob Gunderson, Kevin Honigford. We are the Gaming Outsider. Never forget, Scott Clark's the real one, though. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.